Good evening, good evening, good evening. This is Bishop Bale with the Well of Hope International Fellowship. Listen, today we are on our way home from the candlelight event service in memory of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And thank God that I served it as the speaker of the hour. But I want to share something with you that the Lord shared with me while I was speaking to the people there. Talked about Philippians chapter 2, verses 1 through 8. And we use for a subject the set example. I want to remind us that Dr. King followed the pattern that had been set. And when Paul writes in Philippians 2, he uses a word, if. And normally that word, if, is condition. But at this time, when Paul uses the word if, he uses it as an argument. And Paul is sitting in prison when he does this, but he says, if there be any consolation in you. In other words, what he was saying, if you believe in Jesus, it ought to show up in us. The pattern, the example that has been set ought to show up in us. We should not always be high-minded, can't agree, all that, you know how that is. Thinking we're better than others. We shouldn't be there. We should be humble, obedient, and we ought to be serving others for the glory of God. Not for no pat on the back, but for the glory of God. When you think about Martin Luther King, he put on the mind of Christ and he was of one accord. And he served. When you look at Martin Luther King, you have the beginning of his date that he was born, and you have the date that he died. But the dash, and the dash speaks loud for Dr. King. When your life is over, how will the dash speak about you? Okay, I'm going to leave that alone. God bless you. Happy New Year. Oh, man. Whew. We got to do better and follow the pattern and the examples that has been set. Peace. Love you.